T2ETP here again. Another video. Today I'm going to work on my solar generator. I'm going to build it in this box here. I have some of the stuff in there already. It's going to have a 30 amp hour battery in there, and then I'm going to set it up. I have two solar panels. I have one, which I'll grab right here. This one I bought. It's one of those suitcase ones from Harbor Freight. I didn't buy it from Harbor Freight. I got it at one of the ham meetings that I go to for a local ham club, the Lark, Liverpool Amateur Repeater Club. And this is a nice unit. Seems to work pretty well. Opens up like this. You can see it's got the wires in here and the little blue light blink in there, meaning that it's catching stuff from the sun now. This will do 15 watts. It's rather large, but it does fold up. It's pretty thin and compact, so it should work out well. It's got these stands on the back, so when you have it out, you can lean it back into the sun. There's one on this side. And then there's also one on the other side. It seems like a nice unit, and ideally this isn't going to be like a real portable setup, mostly for like if I want to go out and about, I don't have to go too far away from the car kind of thing. Get this set up, have power to run on for a while. That 30 amp hour battery should run pretty long. I used it for winter field day, and it lasted about 19-20 hours worth of transmitting with my IC 7200. So let me show you what I got inside the box here. Put that down, bring you down here, and get these unscrewed here. So this is just a Hoffman box, they call it. It's a weatherproof box. So what I have set up in here for it is, here's my charge controller. It's a 7 amp charge controller, 14.2 volt cutout on there. And what I do is I have it wired over here. This was my photovoltaic in, which is fused on the positive side with a 5 amp fuse here. And this comes out here like this. And then the negative lead will go in here, and if you look up here, you can see I got the red and move this out of the way there, the red and the black over there, so that the positive side is fused, but the negative side isn't. I don't think I need that much protection. I have a jumper over here to these two terminals. This is where I'll put my Anderson power poles for power out on. And then these two are hooked up to the battery, which is also fused here. I like the extra fusing, so, and of course I got on there positive, made some labels for this too, positive and negative for the battery. So what's going to happen is now the battery will sit right here on the bottom. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here. Okay, so the battery's going to sit in the bottom here and take up pretty much this whole area. This is a pretty big box, and the idea is that maybe someday I'm thinking about getting a small 300 watt inverter to give me a 110 capabilities too if I ever wanted that. But just a neat little project. Like I said, this isn't something that's going to be really portable. This box is approximately I think it's 10 by 12 by 6, so it'll fit that battery good. But I can, I can bring this with me when I'm not too far away from the truck, and be able to have power as well as continuous power with the sun that'll be charging it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark out I want to put Anderson power poles up here. I'm going to put a gang of them for plugging things into radio and whatnot, and then I'm also going to put power poles on this side above here, above the fused area, so that I can just have power poles to plug in the solar panel as well. And I'll make a plug for that so that it can plug right into here. It came with, that unit itself came with several different configurations to do different things with. So one of them I'll cut up and use and put Andersons on so I can use it to plug into here. And then once I get going on this, I'll mark them out. I think I'm going to put 4 power poles up here, ganged together, and then I'll have just the 2 over here, which will make it easy for when you go to plug something in, you know where to plug it in. So it'd be a configuration similar to this with these 4. I built this box as well. You can see this is just a splitter, so I can plug that in, and then I have 4 on the other side, so I can plug various things in there. And this is a pretty good unit. It's worked out well for me. I bring this on a lot of my trips when I'm out and about, so to plug into the batteries, and that way I can plug in more than one piece of equipment, let's say, easily. So just showing you this because this is kind of the setup I'm going to have on the top of that unit down there. And then I'll have, like I said, the photovoltaic with another set. So I'm going to get marking that up and whatnot, and I'll show you at different stages where I'm at. So what I got here is I just started ganging some of these together with the configuration that I need. And one thing good about these power poles are they do gang together pretty well. And I'll slide this one in next. Oops. And you got to make sure you get it on both. So now that's not only is it slid into the one below it, it's also slid into the one on the side. And so that's a pretty good setup there. So I'm going to gang a few more on here. I'll put that one on, and then I'll put this one on next. And you can see how they go together. Oop. A little tricky, but you got to. The idea is to make sure that they're all together. And you can see how this one is pushing that one apart a little bit, so I got to pull that back off. Oop. And make sure that I get this section and that section in there when I get them together. So anyways, and then I will finish up that. I'll have 4 of them together, and that'll be the one side there. So now I have that together. I got the 4 gang there and the 2 gang here. Let me turn the radio down a little bit here. Just listening. Actually, that was Serbia, Yankee Tango 1 Alpha, who I did actually make contact with, 85 watts, as I always run in my base. So now what I'll do is I'll mark these out on the top. Over here. I'll get this on here where I want it, and then I will mark it out. And then I need to make a bracket to put these in. And that's the one problem I have with the Anderson power poles, is that you would have thought they would have made them in a way that you could cut out a notch and just kind of put them in and they would click and then they would hold, but unfortunately that is not the case. So they make these brackets that go around and slide into these grooves here on both sides that holds it in place. However, that's not how I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut it out, I'm going to put it in there and with a little bit of Gorilla Glue to hold them in place. And if I make it tight enough so that it just fits in there, I think it'll work out well with some Gorilla Glue around the inside of it, so you can't see it on the outside. And we'll see how that goes. It should work out fine. So now I've got the connectors all set up and ready to go. I'm going to glue them in from the back side there. I got the 4. This will be for accessories. This will be for solar panel. Let me see here. You can see I got the whips on them and the whip on that one that I'll hook up after, but for now I'm going to glue them in back here, let them sit for a while, and then once the glue sets, we'll get working on it some more. So while the glue dries on the back of these connectors here, I'm going to take this cord right here. This is the lighter socket adapter for that briefcase solar panel there. I'll cut this off right here. I'm going to put a set of Anderson power poles onto there so that I can connect it to my solar in, and then these are my outs again, of course. So while that's drying, I got a couple hours. I'll get this set up, and my battery's already charged. I can't really do anything inside, but later I'll get this dressed up a little bit, get these wires together. I'll probably wire nut them and then have one set of wires over to my out terminals here. And I just put these labels in to kind of make it easier for myself. And then I'll take obviously this wire coming from my solar cell in, and I'll wrap that around nice, and I'll put it into here and the fuse and everything like it's supposed to go. So don't have much further now, although I do got to plug up a couple holes that I had down there. I was going to do something different before, but and over here, this one, however, is a vent. And I would close the lid, but I don't really want to mess around with this while these are sitting in there and getting ready to set up. So I'll show you that later, but I do have a vent just to keep air pressure from building up inside there when you're charging, and heat, you know, could happen. And obviously this is a sealed box. It isn't going to be totally sealed when I'm done, but pretty close. So I'll get on this cord right now so I can make myself up a jumper to go from this box to that solar panel, briefcase solar panel setup. And that'll be as far as I can go until that's those Anderson power poles set up in there. So now my jumper is done. This will connect to the little suitcase. Pop this out real quick. This will go onto here, obviously, and now I can plug that into the charge controller and the battery pack that I'll have over there. I think even maybe later on I might even put some banana jacks in there, and maybe even use that lighter socket that I cut this end off of and put that in there, just to have a variety of different charging apparatuses or things, you know, so that you can use various types of equipment on there. So not everything has to be power poles, although most of my radio stuff is. I do have chargers for my car and stuff for different radios, a couple of my HTs and stuff that I could use that lighter socket for. So I might look into doing that later. But as for now, that should work out pretty well. And the good thing about this now is that this piece will fit right in there, and I can leave it in there all the time. That's the one issue I have with this setup, but for $30 I couldn't complain, is that not all the stuff fits in there. Obviously, that if that had the big end for the lighter socket end, let's say, on there, you would never be able to put it in and close it up, as well as the one with the alligator clips on it too. You just can't get those in there. But this setup now with the power poles on there will work out rather nice for that. So like I said, a couple more hours and cure time for that Gorilla Glue that I got on there. Then we'll hook this all up, and hopefully I got enough daylight to do it, and we'll see how it works. Well, I glued these in, and they're in there pretty good. Doesn't seem like they're going to come out, which is good. So now I have all the wires hanging off inside here. And let me see if I can get a little light on the situation here. So you can see there's the two. This will be my supply coming in, positive, negative from the solar cell. These, I was going to put some more DIN rail pieces in, but I can't find them right now, so I think I'll just wire nut them together, and then I'll bring them over to these two. But in the future, maybe I'll put a whole set of them in so I can just drop them right in, so to neaten it up a little bit. So I'll get those in, I'll set the battery in, get the charger going, put the solar panel on just to show you how that works, and that should be that. And that's like I'm moving on the top there, and that seems to be in there pretty good. So I got 4 power poles on this side. I got the 2 for the solar panel there, and I'll have a 30 amp hour battery down here in this area. I hooked up the solar panels there. You can see the light blinking there, and I got the cord running up to here. This is my power in, and if you look, you can see the light saying charging battery. And then I have outside here, I got my wire on to my outgoing, let's say, over here to the KX3, and if you can see, my power supply is showing 26.6. So a couple of things. I'm gonna put a strap in here to hold the battery in, and a spacer over here so it doesn't move around so much. And because of the curvature on here, I can't, get it too tight over that way. So I'll put a spacer in there, as well as a strap to hold the battery in. And then ideally what I want to do, because this doesn't really sit right because of the lip up here, which you can see, this lip on here, so, and that's all the way around. So what I want to do is like put some stands on the side here, 4 stands, and then also on the other side here where the vent is, I want to put a handle. So I'll have to figure out what I got around to use to make the handle and the stand for it to sit on, but it looks like it's going to work out pretty well. So I got my fuse here. This is from the solar panel, and then that comes out of here over to the solar charge controller, out of this charge controller back to these contacts to make it easier, which charges the battery on off of here. And then these 2 right here, the black and red that you see there, go up to this jumble of wires I got over here right now, to my accessories, whatever I want to plug into it. So again, it's a pretty big cabinet, and which I'm happy for, because I'm thinking I might be able to put like a 300 watt inverter here, and then be able to have some 110 out of there as well. Obviously it's not going to last a long time with a big load on it, but at least, who knows, charge your cell phone or whatever. And as long as we got good sun, which I'll experiment with more later, may be able to keep up to some extent. So, but anyways, there it is, my 30 amp hour battery in my portable power station, let's say, and soon to be portable generator, I guess you would say, or solar powered generator. So it's going pretty good. I got that part of it done, and that's excellent. So at the very least for now I can pick it up and carry it, but I do want to put the handle on and the other thing just to make it a little easier to carry around and whatnot. So I got a little bit more work to do just to dress it up a little bit, but for all intents and purposes it appears to be working. I can plug other things in, and I don't have anything offhand that I could plug in real quick, I don't think. But anyways, there are, like I said, I got 4 Anderson setups right here. So, and I don't know, like I said, I might put some banana jacks in too up here or something. Maybe a cigarette lighter socket for that kind of application. I got plenty of room to do whatever I want, which is why I went with a big box. It's not made to be thrown on your back for backpacking. It's made for, maybe field day, going out to a park or something somewhere where you're not far away from your car. So, and it's still working. Let's see what we got. 12.5 volts. Looks pretty good. Everything seems to be working out well. So the battery I did charge up before has been charged, so there's no draw. There isn't any draw on that one, but it'll be fun to play around with it outside once the weather gets better and I can set it up good, or even on a day that's sunny, but I can get underneath a pavilion or something like that, and then I think I got enough cord here maybe to get that out. There's probably, there's still another wrap or 2 of cord around there, so I'll be able to put that out in the sun somewhere and have this a little closer to me. I may even make a long jumper to go from my Anderson power poles in case I need more, and then I could always put the splitter on the end of that if I wanted to. If I needed to get more further away, let's say, from where the box would actually be located. So, well, there it is. The KD2 ETP solar, portable solar power station.